and I'm looking forward to coming back against the Washington Redskins tonight on Monday Night Football.
Bert Jones, the exceptional quarterback of the Colts, has been sidelined all year long with not one but 2 shoulder separations. When healthy the last 3 years, he led the Colts into the playoffs with bombs like this one to Raymond Chester, the tight end, now a member of the Oakland Raiders. And always he would look for Roger Carr, the fleet wide receiver. Tonight, Bert Jones is in action against a veteran. A great and shrewd and clutch responsive veteran named Billy Kilmer of the Washington Redskins, who rode the bench for the first 8 games but came back last week against San Francisco and starred with touchdown passes like this one to the former West Virginian Danny Bugs. And Kilmer knows how to take advantage of all of his receivers with touchdown passes like this one to John McDaniel. So Kilmer is back, and I spoke with Billy earlier.
Seems to me they always turn to you in time of stress.
Well, I don't think we're in much stress right now, Howard. We've got a 2-game lead going into tonight's game, and, you know, it's a good, comfortable position. And then, you know, I came in against the 49ers, and the 49ers haven't had a good record, and I haven't played much. So this is going to be a real test for me. We got a great football team to beat here, and I'm especially afraid of their defensive line.
20 seconds to air. Stand by, all cameras.
Ready. Stand by in videotape. Ready. Stand by slow-mo.
Stand by to open your mics on the field.
Stand by in graphics. Ready with your opening supers. Stand by the announcers in the booth, please. And roll tape.
3, 2, 1. Take tape.
From Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. An interconference game, the NFC Eastern Division leading Washington Redskins against the Baltimore Colts. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Buick, who invites you to see your dealer soon and test drive one of the new 79 Buicks. It's a treat you really owe yourself. After all, life is to enjoy. And by Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Hello again, everyone. More than 60,000 people on hand at Baltimore Memorial Stadium. Jam-packed crowd, and as you can hear, a noisy crowd. The Colts coming on the field. We look for a tough, competitive game tonight. And, of course, the game earmarked from the Washington point of view by the return of Billy Kilmer. He succeeded Joe Theismann a week ago and excelled, and he's going to have a chance to prove himself all over tonight against the Colts. Earlier, we had the opportunity to talk with Billy, and, of course, the key question was, how are you going to attack this Baltimore team?
Basically, I don't want to make any mistakes. That's the big thing, and I don't want to take any big chances. Now, you know, Joe Walton he's put in a good offense for me and Joe, and we can get some big plays, but basically we got to get Riggins and Mike Thomas running and Benny Malone and our running backs going. We have to have a good running game. So if we can get our running game going, then I think that we can have some success.
Avoid mistakes. Play conservatively, perhaps, and count on running help from the likes of Riggins, Thomas, and Benny Malone. Now, of course, the counterpart quarterback, Bert Jones. What about him? Dandy Don spoke with him.
Ordinarily, when you come to Baltimore to see the Colts play, you expect Bert Jones to start at quarterback. This time we're here, we're a little bit surprised to see that he is. Bert was hurt early in the year, hasn't played much at all. You're scheduled to start, Bert. You had a separated shoulder early in the year. We were told that it was maybe a bruise, but really you had it separated again, didn't you?
Yeah, against the Jets, I did have it slightly separated, not near as severely as the first time, but, you know, I think I'll be ready to go. I don't think I'll be throwing as effectively as what I have in the past because, you know, it takes a while for an injury to really not necessarily heal, but to get strong, and I'm not quite to that point of being strong. Let's hope I don't get a hit on it, but I think that I can move the ball club.
Well, I've got to ask you then about the International Football League, whatever it is. What I read was $5 million for 5 years. Is that a true figure? And tell me what happened.
Well, that's pretty much what I read, too. But my off-the-field agent, who doesn't handle any of my football playing or negotiating contracts, was approached by a man who fronts for a group of out-of-the-country businessmen and said, would Bert be interested in playing for $5 million or $1 million a year for 5 years? And my logical answer, well, of course I'd be interested, but by no means has there been any negotiation other than the mention would he be interested in playing. So it's far-fetched for me. I haven't been in contact personally. My lawyer hasn't been, who is my brother, so it's just a blue sky.
And, of course, that graphic speaks volumes. There's Bert Jones. He's only thrown 6 passes this year, completed 5. Now, earlier, you heard, and he does fire up that team. Just look at that picture, and this is a fired-up Baltimore team tonight. You heard Billy Kilmer say he's looking for running help tonight from the likes of John Riggins, Mike Thomas, and Benny Malone. Well, you can be sure Bert Jones is looking for help, too. And here's the Giffer to tell you about that.
Howard, if you could describe anything quite as tense as what we saw an hour and a half ago, Bert Jones warming up, testing that arm. He throws the ball a good 45 or 50 yards. He was warming up with a couple of kids out on this field, and he says, I'm ready, he'll go tonight. And he does have a lot of help. Let's go back to the 3rd game of the NFL Monday night season. We thought Baltimore would just knuckle under after they'd been defeated by Dallas 42-0. They went up to play New England, and they discovered that while they did not have Lydell Mitchell, they had this man, Joe Washington, that they acquired from San Diego, here with a touchdown pass to Roger Carr, the heavily favored New England Patriots that night, you might recall. Joe Washington playing his first major role for the Baltimore Colts, this time on the receiving end of a pass. And then when it was all tied up late in the game, New England kicked off. They had taken over dominance of that game. They booted to the 10-yard line, and Joe Washington went 90 yards for a touchdown. Baltimore upsetting the New England Patriots, and if ever a game was won by an individual, that game was, and you don't see many of them. Joe Washington has gone on from there. He is the leading rusher. He's wearing number 20 now. He's over 500 yards rushing, 27 receptions, so Bert Jones is not out there alone tonight. Their defense has started to come together. A defense. They played well against Miami last week in a losing effort, but they feel their defense is back to where it should be.